What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon coming at you today with a slightly different video. The channel's not really known for doing a lot about like rugby news as such, but occasionally a headline comes across my desk and I think, you know what? It deserves a video. Now this one, really out of the blue. Now while I was working this afternoon, I got a little notification on my phone to say there's a bit of a break-in rugby news, which I always enjoy just checking out quickly. And it turns out that two legends of Welsh rugby have decided to retire from international rugby with immediate effect, only 4 months out from the World Cup. So there's a lot to go over in this one. I'm looking forward to hear what you guys have to say about this down in the comment section, about why you think they've decided to retire now, what this means maybe about the WRU's position and how the players are feeling, and maybe who could even take over a captaincy role. Now it all started with Justin Tipuric actually announcing his retirement slightly earlier this afternoon. He put out a little post just sort of going over it. They've both done nice little posts just sort of reflecting on it. He said during his time off, he's had time to reflect over his career and he feels that now is the right time to step away from international rugby. It's been a privilege to have put on the Welsh jersey and so many great memories. He's thanking the players and the coaches just for all the support. And he is going to be putting a lot more time still into club level. He's not retiring from rugby completely, only the international scene. Now, this one was quite a surprise to me because Justin Tipuric, of course, he's maybe getting on in a few years now. He's about 33 years old now. He's up there for caps. He's got 93 caps for Wales, very close to a century, and you feel like if you played across the summer series moving in towards the World Cup, you could certainly get towards that 100 marker. In the last sort of, year, 18 months or so, we've seen him sort of tested out here and there as maybe being the captain for Wales with Alun Wyn stepping back a little bit. And it's quite interesting to think about why Justin Tipuric has decided now to actually take this step back. This was then followed up only about half hour later by saying that Alun Wyn has also decided to retire as well. So two big players in the Wales squad going out at the same time, stepping away from that international rugby scene. Alun Wyn put out his own little post as well, which was nice, having been selected for this year's preliminary World Cup squad. And after an ongoing dialogue with the coaching staff and the WRU, I have decided to step away from the international game. So something to sort of note there. So after 17 years, I look back on special memories with Welsh greats and future Welsh greats. His grandfather and father both nurtured his passion for rugby in his younger days, which has continued throughout. The opportunity to be professional in the sport that he loves was a dream come true, and to represent his home region of the Ospreys and clubs within the region. And the fact that he's just hugely grateful for that support he's had along the way. Now, Alun Wyn, again, another icon of rugby. Now, for Alun Wyn, this one might have been slightly less surprising for people. I'm still surprised by the timing of it. I know some people have been a bit 50-50 on Alun Wyn and his performance for the Wales squad for the last maybe year or so, but he's an absolute unit. He has been through Welsh rugby history. He's 37. So he's certainly getting up there in terms of his age. He's the world rugby's highest cap holder, playing 170 tests for the Wales and British and Irish Lions combined, 158 of them coming for Wales alone, and captained Wales 52 times, which I thought was an interesting stat. I actually thought he captained a few more than that, but captained 52 times, by no means a small feat. But Alun Wyn performance for Wales internationally maybe feel like it was dipping off a little bit. A couple of people might have thought he might have retired sooner. For me, I think Alun Wyn did well to be involved with the Lion series a couple of years back, and I wouldn't have been overly surprised had he retired then, but he continued on. Felt like he wanted to play in this World Cup, felt like he wanted to maybe just see that last one out. Now, there's a couple of big talking points to go over here. Why are these two big players for Wales retiring now? As you sort of saw in the Alun Wyn post, there's a lot of this dialogue going on with WRU. It's no big news that the Welsh players haven't been very happy with the WRU. Of course, they had the whole sort of conference going on a couple of months back. There was a lot of chaos going on throughout the Six Nations. A lot of players not happy. A lot of players moving away from club level to going abroad and playing in places like Japan. And I don't think a lot of players are happy with the way things have been handled and the way they're being represented. And maybe this is just another way this is becoming to get more into the public eye now. Unfortunately, big name players like Justin Tipuric and Alun Wyn, if they're not being supported, you can only imagine what it's like for some of the newcomers to the sport, people only in club level, desperate to try and get into the international scene. So I think there's a lot to talk about going on in what's going on with the WRU and their interlinking dialogue with some of these big name players. But on a bit of a broader spectrum, for me as a Wales supporter, I'm thinking now ahead to the World Cup. We're only 4 months out from the World Cup. This has come as a bit of a surprise so soon towards the World Cup. Both of them were named in that preliminary squad for the World Cup. I think Alun Wyn has also been named to play in a Barbarians team alongside Falatau, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's coming up pretty soon. But in terms of actually losing them as players, there's still a big knock. Lock department, especially for me, is one of the bigger concerns in the Wales squad. The line-out for Wales has not been good for a long time, it feels like now, actually. Ryan Elias' thrown maybe wasn't the best when he was playing in hooker. Ken Owens came back in. The lineouts through the Six Nations still weren't the best. Some of the jumps not going correct. Some of the calls getting not done correctly. A lot of the players going abroad. We lost a couple of big names in terms of the lock positions. Corey Hill went abroad. Jake Ball went abroad. Alun Wyn Jones is retiring. Will Rowlands not being able to fill the sort of cap rule they have in now. So losing Alun Wyn Jones as well to this, the lock department's already going to be a little bit shaky to a line-out system that's already not working. Justin Tiburic's position of flanker. Now, luckily, the back row is an area that Wales are beginning to show quite a lot of depth. There's some nice players coming through, people like Jack Morgan, who I'm really looking forward to see maybe get a bit more game time now. But also captaincy. I'm really interested to know who you guys would pick as your first choice captain for Wales at this point, because Alun Wyn Jones was captain for so long in this Wales squad. Justin Tiburic's had his own little spell of trying out the captaincy. Dan Biggar has tried doing the captaincy as well. But now with those two players leaving, I'm absolutely no aficionado when it comes to players' history of being captain. But of course, Ken Owens has been trying his hand more recently at the captaincy. I'm not sure if someone like Falatau has ever taken the captaincy role before, maybe at club level. Someone I've actually have no knowledge of that, so feel free to drop that down in the comments. But maybe he could be a player. He's been a bit of a long-serving player. He's the sort of player who sort of shows to me he's always willing to sort of lead from the front. He's always getting his hands on the ball and making good charges and stuff. He also feels like he has quite a calm nature about himself. He feels like he could engage in some talks with some referees. But I am certainly interested to know what you guys have to say about this. How much of a blow is this for the Wales squad going ahead towards the World Cup? Are you surprised by the announcement of these two Welsh legends being retired? I wish them all the best in their futures. I'm hoping this is a decision made for their own best personal sake, and I really hope there's not a lot of like political stuff going on behind the scenes. I hope they go on to do well, and I hope they still enjoy playing their club level rugby. I hope you've enjoyed this one today, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye bye.